Hey everyone, welcome to what day is it? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. And man, and you can see it in my eyes, I'm tired. And we've got a lot going on in the house right now, but I'm excited to be with you guys, excited to be talking with Chris Hall today, who is a USQRA member with WWAR. He's been at some tryouts before. His weight journey is something that is inspiring to me as a fellow guy that's lost a lot of weight, and then also just got a new title, and we'll talk about that right away too. So really excited to talk to Chris. I think, man, one of these things is sometimes go like, why are you talking to this person, or why are you talking to this person? And with, if they're on Team USA, it's an easy deal. Or if they're a referee or a sports psych or you see it. And Chris hasn't made it to the final spot where I'm sure he's trying to aim for still. But I think it's important to understand that there's people in our community that have done some really awesome things. And just because they haven't gotten to the top per se, or gotten to a certain goal, doesn't mean that they aren't important, and that they might have something really cool to say. So really excited to talk to Chris today. Giving Games, real quick, just got to plug Giving Games. We are in our final week of Giving Games. It's been awesome. Thank you guys so much for your donations to USAWR, and go over to giving-games.com to check it out. Giving-games.com to check it out. You can also text in big capital letters Giving Games to 243-725. Giving Games to 243-725. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means the world to us. I know that you've seen a lot on USAWR's socials with that, and it's just been an awesome thing to be a part of, with 20 other Olympic and Paralympic sports that are pushing to get money for athletes to be able to train the way we can train through Tokyo 2021, and hopefully come home with that gold. So as always, jump on and ask some questions as we get ready to talk to Chris. And man, just excited for this whole deal today, and a great conversation. So Chris, what's up, man?
Good morning. Life is good.
Yeah. I love the background. The trophy case is pretty sweet.
Yeah, you got to have the office set up with the yeah.
Well, it's like everyone. I don't know if you had it there before. I didn't. I made like our old bedroom in the basement a little studio office thing. You already have it set up?
In my front room, we have like an office right next to the front door. My wife did all this stuff for me, using towel racks for the medals, and then a nice bookshelf for the stuff from rugby. So
yeah, absolutely. My wife did this. I didn't do any of this exactly.
Yeah, I mean, she has the eye for it. She's like, oh no, this will look better on this shelf. I think it looks better like this. So I just let her do her thing with it.
What up, Service?
Good morning, Steve. Mark.
Well, man. So I got a sneak peek of it when we were in the back room there before we went live, but
yeah,
you recently added a new title. How's that been? Tell us about it.
Yeah, boat captain. Right, my new pontoon boat, right? That's what you're talking about? No, yeah, of course, Dad. I got the little Penelope here with her mom, Ash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's about ready for a nap. She just ate again, so you know how it is. Little babies, they eat and they sleep and they poop. That's what they do.
Poop. How many diapers have you changed?
I change a few here and there, but Ash seems to keep track. Like she said one time, you haven't changed a diaper in 8 days.
Jeez. Like days since workplace accidents, days since Chris changed it.
Yeah, exactly.
I changed my fair share with the 3 of our kids.
And, yeah. I try and help as much as I can.
Yeah, it's no joke, but man, at that age though, they love their moms, and it looks like Ash loves her baby, so that's amazing. I thought she was gonna come in there and choke you out though when you said boat captain.
Yeah, she thought about it.
Yeah,
she's used to my dad jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got some dad jokes on the horizon here today, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about like your background with everything. Before you broke your neck, you were in the military. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I joined the military right after September 11th. It was either college or the military for me, and I wasn't the best student, so military was a great option. I decided to go in the Army, and spent 3 years at Fort Hood, Texas.
Okay.
On my way home for leave just before Valentine's Day, Friday the 13th, at exit 13, my friend fell asleep behind the wheel, and I broke my C6, C7 neck in my neck.
Wow. Yeah.
I was a cook in the Army. That was fun. I still love to cook. Spent a lot of time traveling around with the infantry, cooking out of trailers. So that's not a lot of fun. It's hot, but it's good work.
Yeah. Awesome. So you break your neck, C6 and 7, car accident, someone else is driving. And we don't always go in this in the show, but I'm curious, like what was the mindset right away after you broke your neck and you're trying to figure it out? I mean, I know a lot of our community, we always have these stories, and I think sometimes we're like we try to find cool stories of like, oh, this guy got shot in the neck, or this guy got like, but a lot of it's like I was in an accident. I
Right. Yeah.
It was just an accident, a car accident, boat accident, whatever it would be. But I'm just curious, what was the mentality right away after?
I don't ever remember feeling sorry for myself. And looking back, I did have a stage where I dealt with some depression and some serious issues. But right away, especially being in a VA hospital, therapists come in and it's like, all right, we're going to get to work. You're still in the military. You still have a job to do. So we're going to therapy. We're getting to work. There's no time to feel sorry for yourself. We're going to start getting to where you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a long process. But if you have that mentality of like, all right, this is just a job. I've got to figure out how to brush my teeth again and feed myself and get up out of bed, then it becomes a lot easier. Later on, when I got home, and I think that's the hardest transition for most people is when they go from the rehab situation to home, is when I started drinking a lot, spent a lot of time eating what I shouldn't be, drinking what I shouldn't be, gained a lot of weight, just got in terrible shape to where I was probably going to die if something didn't change. I was just going to drink myself into a hole or eat myself to obesity. So I think that's when I was dealing with my depression, but didn't really realize it until I got to the other side of it.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I mean, like, as guys, first of all, we're guys, and then you have some traumatic accident. So, and you were 20 then, 20, 21, something like
that? I was 19. I went into the military at 16.
Wow. Okay, so you went in early. Okay. Yeah.
As long as you have a high school diploma and your parents sign for you, they're willing to give you a rifle.
Yeah. They're like, you know what? You can't buy a pack of cigarettes, but here's a rifle. You're good.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. So you're young. You're 19. I was 19 when I got hurt, and at 19, you're already trying to figure out life. You're in the Army. You're cooking. You're trying to figure everything out. And then this happens, and then you get depressed, which I think pretty much everyone that goes through this has some sort of depression, unless they're like, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you turn to something. Obviously, you cope with something. Some people turn to drugs, some people turn to alcohol, some people turn to food, some people turn to bad relationships or whatever. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we turn to, or
I think I turned to all of them at one point.
Yeah, and then it could be some good things. Like, it could be like a really good relationship, or it could be faith, or it could be there's and then for a lot of us that are in our community, found wheelchair rugby. And I remember my first time seeing you. It was 2010. We were down in Jacksonville for USA came in for like a camp there. Camp, and they had like a sports fest there, which is really cool. And you didn't look like you look now, and we'll get into that. But like the sport of wheelchair rugby, I think at its core, its most important value is the rehabilitative instrument that I keep talking about in the shows. And like at its core, it changes lives by getting people involved and getting people in the community. How important was that for you when you first started playing?
It really was the catalyst to get me out of that depression, right? It gave me something to do, gave me a goal, gave me a drive. Ever since the beginning, I saw USA level and D1 level wheelchair rugby and said, that's what I want to do. Yeah. And that's been the goal ever since. I've been growing and learning from day one of how much work it takes. But really, wheelchair rugby was the catalyst to get me out of depression. It gave me goals. Gave me a reason to train, gave me a reason to eat well, gave me a reason to stop drinking, stop smoking, doing all the things that were detrimental to my health in the first place.
When you got in that community, like, did you have some people that later in life you're kind of like, oh, that was probably a good mentor that I had, or that there's some people that kind of helped me along? Who was that for you?
Oh, of course. Alice Krause was the manager of Jacksonville's program, and she just loves people with disabilities. She loves helping them, and she was a huge catalyst. And then, of course, my teammates when I first started playing, my coach at the time, Dennis, some of the teammates, Steve, they would give you a hard time to get you to do what you're supposed to be doing. Look, man, you got to put that cheeseburger down, or you got to get to the gym, or you got to get to practice on time, or you need to learn to transfer out of your rugby chair because we're tired of our volunteers breaking their backs, lifting your fat ass into your chair. Like, these are the things that friends say to you to make you realize that, look, man, something's got to change.
It's crazy too, man, because like there's a lot of questions in there that hits home hard for me, but it's crazy when you can get in that community. Because for me, I didn't want to listen to my mom or April or friend. But when I got around this community and of people that have gone through the same thing I went through, it was so powerful to be able to hear them say, "Hey, dude, quit being so crippled and transfer yourself out." You're like, you kind of get punched in the face, but it's like a good feeling in a way. You're like,
yeah, when you've got a 0.5 that's transferring on his own and taping himself up, and you're over there, a 2.5 or a 3 at the time, which I was. Getting 2 guys to lift me in the chair because I can't do it on my own.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty cool. So like when you're, exactly. Service.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. You've helped us all.
But yeah, I think, seeing that, and then you get to that point where it's like, okay, this is changing. But then how did your goals start changing once you started playing rugby? I mean, and it's like obviously you liked it because like you've got rugby tattooed on your body, man. Like you, yeah.
Rugby. I can find the right arms here. There we go.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, this guy wants to play rugby. He's got a tattoo on his arms. It must mean something to him. How did that help you change what your goals are and start looking at your weight as something that was a goal?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first couple of years I played, it was, really low level Division III rugby. I didn't really see the intensity of D1 or even top of D2. Honestly, we were playing at the dregs. We couldn't beat, the bottom of the barrel team if we wanted to. My first couple of years playing. Then we made our first nationals in 2014, and it was my first time really seeing the top level of rugby and go, man, I've got some work to do.
Yeah.
So at that point, I thought, okay, I'll do a little bit of work. I'll do some training, maybe lose a little bit of weight. I lost maybe 15 pounds or so. It didn't stay off long. I trained a little bit. Then I got to go to forced tryouts and realized I need to set some bigger goals. And then finally realized how much work it takes to get to the D1, top of D2 level. Really started putting some work in. Got a USA invite. And then again realized how much more work it's going to take. So it's been an evolution from, okay, I can play this for fun. All right, I need to put in some work to, damn, I really need to commit to lose some weight, get in really good shape. If I want to make it to that D1 USA rugby level, like I say I want to, I've got to put in the time and the commitment to do so.
Yeah, man, it's no joke. Because I think it's tough too, because we're always like when you're an athlete, most of the time you're always trying to get the next goal. And then you're getting the next goal, and then you might fail at it, but you're trying to get that next. And like we're always trying to step up, and I think a lot of times we forget to pause. And have you ever done that? Have you paused and said, you know what, like that kid at 19 when he broke his neck and then turned to some negative, things in his life, like you go, wow, that kid would probably be proud of me being where I'm at now. Have you done that?
Some self-reflection every once in a while. When I start really beating myself up and saying, man, I just can't lose this weight fast enough, or I can't reach this goal fast enough, or why didn't I get a USA invite, or why am I not going to this or that? I have to kind of pause and think back and be like, all right, man, you used to be almost 280 pounds. You used to not be able to transfer in your own car and take care of yourself, and you've come so far. Look back at the road where you came from and really appreciate where you're at now.
Well, man, you and I, like we didn't get our chairs from like Thailand. We got them from a park bench company.
Yeah, no question. My chair was built by BMW.
A Cadillac parking lot.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, I kind of want to dive into, with losing that weight and changing. It's a lifestyle change. I think you probably figured it out. It's like, okay, 10 pounds, and then I'll just go back to like 15 pounds. I can go back to, but then like you're talking about a lot of weight, 80 pounds, 90 pounds. I'm not sure how much you lost, but when that happens, there's some like changes that are significant. What are those top takeaways for you?
Really, I mean, everybody knows what we need to do to eat right, right? Stay away from sugar, stay away from carbohydrates. Everybody can tell you, if the fattest person on earth can tell you how to lose weight because they're really good at it. They're good at losing it and gaining it back.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's looking back and saying, man, I used to be 280. And yeah, I'm upset last month because I weighed 200 pounds, but it's not 280, right? I need to get back down to that 185 goal where I'm usually at. But the biggest takeaway is, like you said, it's lifestyle change. It's, let's drink water instead of drinking the soda. Instead of having pizza for dinner, let's, have a wrap, or, just making healthy choices at every meal and every day instead of, and you can have the beer every once in a while, but it has to be moderation, just like everything else, everything in moderation.
Right. You had a couple questions for me.
Yeah.
I think we'll pick on, I kind of want to go into our dad joke game, and we'll pick up the conversation. I think it's a great conversation. If anyone has any comments on this or questions on this, please chime in. We'd love to hear them.
Not you, Steve Service.
Yeah, besides Steve. You're banned from the comment now. But man, like, yeah, we'll get into it. But I think I love telling dad jokes, and sometimes I tell them not even realizing it. And I did it with Eric Newby, who's a new dad as well, and has a beautiful little girl, Rory. And man, he had some good ones. So let's see if we can do a little bit better.
Okay.
I'll let you start out.
Well, my favorite one as a cripple is I don't like stairs. They're always up to something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, they're supposed to make you groan, not really laugh.
Yeah, dad jokes aren't supposed to make you laugh. I was like, oh, so she's like, bring the baby back.
Nobody wants to see you.
Yeah. Okay, so I got one. Where'd it go? All right. When does a joke turn into a dad joke?
I mean, besides when a dad tells it. Let me go. Let's go.
When it's apparent.
Yeah, see, that's the exact response you're supposed to get. Oh, yeah. It's not really funny, but it's funny. I had one more, too, and now I can't remember what it was. I got it here. What's that, babe? Oh, yeah. So the other day, a book fell and hit me in the head, but I only have my shelf to blame.
Yeah. That's a dad joke. That's a dad joke. All right, I got another one. What do you call an alligator in a vest?
An investigator.
Yes.
I have heard that one.
Alligator.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What else? Yeah. Give me one more.
What borders on insanity?
What borders on it? Insanity. I don't know.
Canada and Mexico. It's right for the times, man. It's right for the times.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd get an amen on that one. Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
Oh my gosh, have you been eating Laffy Taffies? Because he's like,
no, dude, I actually follow dad jokes on Instagram.
Oh, so you're really good at that.
I do them like every day.
Right, give me another one. Give me one more.
All right, one more. Let's see here. Son asked his dad, "Can you explain to me what's a solar eclipse?" No, son.
Yeah. Okay, one more. I thought about going on an all almond diet, but that's just nuts.
Perfect. I do love almonds.
In the comments, I want to hear who won. Whether Chris told him the best or I did. And there's no loser in this because I mean they were all awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I love telling dad jokes. I don't know why, but
I annoy Ash with them all day. Like seriously, because I follow it on Instagram, and every time I find one, I'm like, Ash, oh, this one.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I get April where she cannot stop laughing, and it's the dumbest joke, but it's fun trying for sure. Hey, so we're talking about weight, And I think like the conversation that I wanted to maybe go down for a minute is just about what that means to us as men. I think, in our community and women, but like, and I don't mean to exclude women in this conversation. I think it's a definitely both ways for insecurities. But man, like when you gain a lot of weight in a chair, like it's easy to gain weight in a chair. It's tough to lose it. Like I mean, he said it's obviously easy. You have to follow the protocol. Like you have to put in the work, eat healthy, exercise. Like it's not that hard, but at the same time, the process takes longer because we're not using our legs. And that's the big work burner that we have on our bodies, and they don't work. And so how did that journey go for you? I mean, like I'll just start like when I looked in the mirror when I was at my heaviest, which was about 284. I mean, I hated to take a picture. I hated to be out and about, and I just wore like baggy double X sweatshirts that started to become pretty tight. But and it was one of those things where like I didn't want to do anything because I was just so big and didn't like who I was.
Yeah. Nobody really likes to talk about, how body images affects males. There is a lot out there for females to look at. In all the magazines, it's like, you're supposed to look like this and wear this makeup and look like that. But there is a lot of pressure on guys to look right too with the, in the 80s and 90s when it came in with the Hulk body and, the wrestler body and the gym body. And it was like, oh man, I don't look like that. I feel bad about not looking like that. And besides being healthy, you have that mental aspect that goes along with it. Like, man, I shouldn't be out looking like this. And like you said, for you looking in the mirror, it was the same thing for me. I saw a picture of myself out in the bar, holding a beer in one hand and a chicken wing in the other. And I'm just like, got 6 chins and my belly hanging out, man boobs all over the place. And I didn't like the way I looked. I was like, man, I've got to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think too? I mean, it's we're sitting down constantly, and unless we're in a standing frame or something like that, or if there's some people in our community that can walk a little bit, but we're always sitting down, and we always look at this quad belly, like, oh my god, this quad belly. But like, any able-bodied sits down, they're gonna have a belly too. Like most are gonna have a belly,
right?
But like. And I know that Steve Service doesn't have a belly because he's
he does now. He's been drinking too much beer.
Yeah, Steve, welcome to the party, man. Hey, but I think sometimes we're really hard on ourselves. It's like we're always trying to be less disabled because we're trying to work at being independent and being as independent as possible, and how important that is, as dads to be independent. We're there for our wives and our kids, and how was that for you? Like being able to, when you did lose the weight, did some of that shame kind of strip off as well, or did that stay there and you had to kind of learn to be nice to yourself, or what was that?
Yeah, it still sneaks up, man. I still look at myself in the mirror and go, oh man, I could work on that a little bit better, or this could be better, or I could lose a couple inches here. It's a daily struggle. It's not something that just goes away. It's one of those things where, like you said, you have to look back down the road and say, man, I'm not 280 pounds anymore. But I could still set some goals for myself to keep moving forward. It doesn't mean I'm stagnant where I'm at and I'm okay gaining 200, back to 200 pounds or whatever. There's a goal to stay in that 175 to 185 range where I feel comfortable and I feel healthy.
Yeah.
So to keep it in that range, I still have to look at myself and say, all right, you're getting a little lazy here, or drink a little bit too much beer, or you're not drinking enough water. Let's get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that space where you're allowing yourself to kind of you fail a little bit, or you let go a little bit, and then go, okay, let's tighten it back up.
Yeah, you can get to the point where you forget about it altogether, and then before you know it, you've gained 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with this, so you had a couple questions for me, and this is kind of a new little segment that we're going to do, but you had a couple questions, and I'd be glad to answer them. I think it's a perfect time as we're talking about that.
I mean, with you being in a place where I want to be, you're at the top of your game, USA Wheelchair Rugby. I just wanted to pick your brain about what it takes to do that. So the first question is, when life, family, health factors get in the way of training or study, how do you stay motivated long term? For example, I feel like I've worked hard in the short burst and then ruined all the hard work with laziness or lack of focus.
Yeah. It's for me, thankfully, I've always had a lot of goals or competitions or training camps or tryouts, like in those goals. And so they've always been kind of like built-in structured goals for me to stay active with. But I think it's important as we're talking about, weight and being prevalent in our stories, is allowing yourself to have a little grace. And so you go, okay, like I'm not where I want to be, but I was a lot farther than where I was before. And so allowing yourself to have that grace and going, yeah, I'm not there yet, but I'm motivated by the fact that I've gotten this far. And so a lot of times when we miss the goal, we accept it as failure instead of going, how can we learn from it? Or how can we spin it into a positive? And so we're spinning it into like, oh, I wanted to lose 25 pounds, but I only lost 20. Like, whoa, I just lost 20 pounds and whatever, like, or for you, it's like, hey, before I wanted to go to tryouts and make the team, but I went to tryouts and learned about how hard the first day is. Or, so like spinning it and going, yeah, I failed, but it's more of like a learning period. Because a lot of times when we win a game, we're not like, oh, we should have done this.
I need to go watch that game film and learn something.
Right. When we lose, we're like, let's pick this bad boy apart. And so when we fail, it can be a learning experience to just pick it apart and go like, where are we at? I think, obviously when we win too, when we meet that goal, we can still do that. But that grace is so important in allowing yourself, being kind to yourself enough to do it. And the other thing is having this support system around you. And so it sounds, like with you and Ash and people around you. So like your friends around you, that tight circle, man, like if you've got goals, you need to make sure you're telling them about them. Because if we don't talk about our goals, they're never going to happen, because they end up becoming just dreams in our head, and we're too afraid to talk about them. And it sounds like you talked about them, but if we have that and we have people around us that we trust, they're going to be like, hey, I thought you, like, what's going on? Like, I thought
you were going to hold you accountable.
I thought this is where you're at. Like, why aren't you here? And so having people that you trust, it can't be some a-hole that's just going to be a jerk, but like people that are going to go like, hey, let's be a little bit of that boundary for you, because I don't think we can do it alone. It's too easy to kind of hide that and go, well, I didn't want it that bad. So like, you know what I mean? So, and I think in those short bursts, like that's really important, having those small goals, but then also like, where are those small goals leading? And being really strong about, I want to get here, and here are the small goals to get me up those steps.
So after I asked you the question, I actually went to answer it myself, which I always think is a cool thing to do. Yeah. So it actually made me set longer term goals for myself, because I'm really good at setting short term goals, 1 month, right? 30 days. And my wife makes some cool artwork for me, and she puts them up on the wall, and I see them every day. And I'm great at 30-day goals. But one thing I haven't done is 6-month goals, 1-year goals, 2-year goals, 5-year goals. And I actually went in and wrote those down, put them in my phone. They're the background screen of my phone now. So I can set, instead of 30-day goals, we've got 5-year goals. Yeah. And I think that's going to help me hit the target a little bit better.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing with that too is when it comes to like, because you look at 2020 and we all had different goals for 2020, like we all did, I would think. Yeah. Some people's jobs didn't change because they might be teachers or some people, just working at home, but I'm like everything's kind of the same. For athletes, completely different. There's competition just wiped out of the schedule. And for Paralympians, completely different because it's now a year later. But I think it's important in those long-term goals. So if you set something out of 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, that is 100% what you need to do. But then also going, when the time comes that I have to change, or I have to kind of like pivot a little bit or recalibrate a little bit, allowing yourself to do that without being like, well, I'm not going to make that goal, or I'm not going to make it where I wanted to. And so I'm failing. And it's like, no, like it's important to allow yourself that grace again, to change that 3-year goal based on what happens with the circumstances in your life. And so I think that's an important one as well. Do you have another question?
Yeah, just one more. So, I mean, it leads right into that same thing. And as a player at the top of your game, what do you think I need to work on to be at the top of my game?
Yeah, I think it's the consistency piece with what you're talking about, and in short bursts going, okay, we can do this, we can do that. But then going like, maybe I just need to consistently and gradually start to climb up. There's always going to be ebbs and flows, but not letting, like, when you get the ebbs in life, letting it derail your train. You might just need to stop for a little bit and then keep going. Right. Like you just had a baby. So in reality, the workouts might not be the same as they were a couple months ago, and that's okay. But then going, okay, this is normal. Now I can get back on a normal track, and we're okay with that. And so that consistency piece is great. Also, for guys that are like borderline classification, like you've been a 2, and then you've been a 2.5, and then you were a 3, and then like, and I don't know where you are. Are you a 2.5 right now? Yeah. And so going like, despite me wanting to like be a 2, or despite thinking that I have the function for a 2, going like, I'm going to train like a 2.5.
Right.
And it doesn't matter where. And so like, I might be lower functioning in that 2.5 class, but I'm going to train so hard and learn the game. And I think that's the biggest thing too. And I saw it when we were teammates at a Make Together tournament in Tucson, that like you understand the game and you're getting a lot smarter. And so a lot of guys are going like, if I can just be this fast, you get on the D1 in the international level, and it's like a lot of it's just chess match and understanding what you need to do within your role. And so
thinking your opponent.
Yeah. And so it's like the brain part of it, but also like just the consistency part of it with continuing to train.
When I was talking to Coach Gumby, he was saying the same thing. If Will Grew went back and forth 2.5 for years, and it's like, would I take Will Grew as a 2.5? Yeah, he made good decisions. He was patient, Yeah. And it comes down to decision making, and patience is one of the biggest things he told me to work on too, is making those right decisions with the ball.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to go to tell yourself, I'll never make USAWR unless I'm a 2. Because a lot of people just end up quitting on their dream because they think they're wrong in class. And it's like, even if you do that, you still put in the work behind the scenes and going like, I can be the best 2.5 I can be, and if my situation changes, then it changes. And
whether I make USAWR or whatever, it's still being the best me that I can be.
Exactly.
It's not for USWR or USQRA or WAR for that matter. It's about this guy.
Absolutely. Love it. And don't forget your family.
Yeah. Of course though.
Yeah.
I got to be happy for the wife and Penelope first. That's and we talk about all the weight loss and rugby and all the things that go along with it, but it's about priorities too. What really matters. Is my family happy, healthy? They've got a roof over their head. They've got food. Then I've done my job.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and talking about an issue that I don't think we probably talk about enough within our community. So hopefully someone hears that today and take something from it. But I'll switch a little bit for the last portion of our talk. And you've been a part of USWR with going to tryouts, and I think that's always a huge experience for people when they come, because right away they're like, well, I didn't get invited, or should I petition to come? Or, well, what should I do? And I think anyone that goes, even if they the first time or the second time or the fifth time, like, I think it's such an important learning experience. What did that experience do for you when you went?
It was another one of those levels of training, and the idea of pushing myself to that next level and what it takes to get there, the level of commitment, the time it takes, the conditioning, the training, the mental focus, all of the things that go along with making it to the top in any field, really. But realizing, and there's a whole nother level here with going to US tryouts and seeing the way you guys work and train and fit together, and the time of day that you spend. It's early in the morning, it's late at night, and it's long days, and it's hard work. And I don't envy it. I want it, but I don't envy that job for sure.
So my very first tryout, it's December 2008. So right after the boys went to Beijing, won gold, and a lot of those guys weren't at tryouts because they got the year off. And so I'm there, and this is my first experience. And I brought like this big shower chair that I had to put together, and like bolts are flying everywhere, and trying to figure out stuff and cathing and all that stuff. I was so green. And I remember it was after the first 3 a day, and I went to my bed. I barely could eat. I think I got a peanut butter and jelly from Lori, and I ate like half of it. I'm like, I can't eat this. I'm so tired. And that night I was so thirsty because I didn't drink enough during the day. I wasn't hydrated whatsoever. And I was still pretty fat back then. So instead of getting up and getting water, I brought some candy with me. And over. I'm like, I could either get water or I could just start eating gummy bears. And so like the middle of the night, like my first try ever, I was just pounding a bag of like Caribou gummy bears. It was
But you feel great the next day. Super dehydrated, over sugared.
Yeah, pooping out gummy bear. It was great. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Kevin Hamilton has a good story about gummy bears. You should ask him about it sometime.
Oh, hammy time. Hammy time.
I miss that kid, man. That was a fun year playing rugby with him.
Oh, love that dude. What did, from your point of view, when you went to tryouts, what did that culture look like? It's something that we're trying to continue to work on and make sure that that's the foundation of the team. What did it look like from your point of view when you went?
So I would say it looked like kind of like a frat, right?
Yeah.
Almost like there's guys who have their wall where they transfer and they get ready, and then there's the guys who are new, right? You go over there, you don't belong over here with us. It felt a little separated at first, right? I was a little intimidated. I'm like,
sure.
Oh man, these guys have been here for years. They have their thing, what they do, and then later on at dinner, it's like, all right, everybody's having a conversation, everything's fine. Just relax a little bit. They're just people too, right? They're not trying to exclude you. They're just doing their thing. I did feel a bit intimidated, but I think that was personal, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing I think could be better, right, is a little welcome wagon for the rookies, right? Somebody who's trying out for the first time. And I know maybe you're not going to see them more than one day. They might be the first day, but a little more welcoming would be nice.
For trust. I think that's honest feedback. Thank you for that honest feedback. And I think it's something that we've talked about. And for me, a lot of people say, well, like you come to a tryout and everyone's just it's a little clique, but it's like it's a family, right? And so
you guys have spent a lot of time together.
Right. And so you go, okay, we just went through ups and downs, and there's been a lot of good highs and some really terrible lows. And when you have that, you create a bond with each other. I mean, just like any other team would be. And then tryouts comes along, and so it's a completely different situation for the group.
Well, that person's trying to take his job too, right? This guy's trying to take his job.
I mean, gosh, you go, okay, like Chris Hall's coming in and he's trying out as a 2, and I'm like, all right, well, I got to go do my work, So it's like it's such a weird experience.
It's got to be tough for the athlete, right? Especially somebody who's been on the team for a while. You've got a young fresh or another face coming in that's trying to steal the job, or might take my place. It's tough to be like, hey, you want to be friends when you're trying to take my job.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So no, I appreciate that honest feedback, and that's something that we will 100% work on. Maybe we need like a bag of gummy bears in everyone's room.
Yeah.
Kevin, like 10 bags of gummy bears in his room. As we talk a little bit more about the rugby community, and it's something that I think needs a lot of work, is a support for one another. I think there's a lot of outstanding people in our community, and a lot of it is like measuring up against each other. Well, this person is USAWR and has this, but this person is a veteran, has changed people's lives through this, or this person, well, like he's not good enough, and like there's just so much like infighting that I think we can do a better job of supporting our people inside our community. What are your thoughts on that? How can we do that better?
Yeah, I think so. Between USQRA and USWR, I think it's like any other relationship, right? It's communication. What does USQRA need from USWR, and what does USAWR need from USQRA? And I think it kind of breaks down into 2 pieces: is fundraising, right? We're all working for the same money. We're all asking for in-kind donations. We're all looking for a facility to host us. And fortunately, USAWR has Lakeshore. We're looking for these big companies to make donations. And we're kind of fighting over the same money. Instead of working together to share it, I think there's a fighting there. Every relationship fights over finances, right? We're fighting over the same money. And then I think collaboration, right? I think maybe there should be a position with the league or with USA to where we can collaborate with fundraising and maybe a force team again, right? Spending some money on getting guys developed into the league. And then thirdly, developing the players from the USQRA that are eventually going to be on USAWR in the first place. I think the biggest way is hosting clinics. You guys are usually available. You and Chuck and Derek and some of the former USA players have hosted clinics. That really helps the new player, the old player, see what it takes to get to that USA level. If they can get to a real high level camp hosted by one of you guys or Gumby. So I think there's a lot that can change. There's a lot of work that we can do to make the relationship between USQRA and USAWR better. I think that's just three things: money, communication, and development.
Money, 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 money.
In the world, man.
I mean, yeah. All right. So I think those are great. Those are great words and something that hopefully we'll continue to get better at. What is your favorite thing you've done to kind of get to where you're at, right? And like you're that 19-year-old kid that we talked about before, went through some stuff, was able to lose a lot of weight, and get married. You got little P now, little Penelope.
Yeah.
Like it's fantastic. And no matter like where your rugby career goes, like that is the ultimate. I talk about it all the time with when I speak is like I could care less about these trophies. Like I need to make sure I'm a good dad for the kids, you know. And so it's what are your tips for athletes though wanting to get better? And that's open-ended, whether that's sports or in life.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to athletics, obviously we've talked a lot about goal setting, and I think that's so huge. And then taking advice, right? Being able to be open to what other people have to say.
That's so good, man. Yeah, like I think that it's simple, but we don't want each other's advice sometimes. I think honestly, you go like, there's been times where I was out on our wheelchair rugby USA players thing, and I'm like, what's up with these rollers, you know? And I feel a little silly, but then it's like, no, like there's some people out there that are doing something better than I do, and that's okay for me to ask for help on something that I just don't know very much about. But man, that's so good. Ask for advice.
That's the reason I wanted to ask you questions, right? I feel like it's a missed opportunity if you, as a person in a position where I want to be, I don't take the time to ask you questions or I ask you for advice. I think that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, as far as going a father and being a great dad and a husband, I'm so new at it, man. I feel like I'm learning something every day, and the baby's changing every day. And my wife is just amazing, right? Got up at 6 this morning, went and vacuumed out a boat, got all the bugs out of the boat because she wanted it out, fed the baby, and napping with the baby now. It's like she's a real rock star. So
yeah,
I'm learning from her. We're learning together our baby's only not even 4 months yet. So we've got a journey ahead of us. Absolutely. But I feel like we've settled into a routine, and baby's happy and healthy. So we're moving right along.
Awesome. Hey, what's your favorite moment in wheelchair rugby?
I think, and I have an exact moment. Kevin and I were playing 2018 Nationals in Phoenix. We were playing the Cali Storm team. Third quarter, there's 8 seconds left on the clock. I catch a corner inbound all the way down on the opposite baseline. 8 seconds. I'm chugging up as hard as I can, go all the way sideline to try and beat a player. Kevin's sitting in the goal line. I chuck him one from half court. He catches it, rolls across the goal line, into the quarter. I mean, it was probably the greatest play I've been a part of.
Klinowski going crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, Klinowski. Because I got hit and flipped over and barely missed, getting the holding call. Fell on the ground. Klinowski comes out, gives me the biggest high five, smacks my hand, tries to break my arm. It was a good moment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
fantastic. Hey, let's get wrapped up with a little rapid fire questions. All right, here we go. If your wife and baby listening, who's your celebrity crush? Maybe they're gone now.
Jennifer Lawrence.
J Law.
Yeah, the Hunger Games movies and Silver Linings Playbook.
Silver Linings Playbook, man, what a good movie. Oh my god. Yeah. What's your guilty pleasure TV show? What do you watch on Netflix?
Oh, dude, so I've been watching the show forever. MTV Road Rules Challenge on MTV. That's my guilty pleasure.
that show?
Dude, I still watch it. I still like, dude. There's still guys on there that have been on the original show, like Johnny Bananas just won this last season.
Man, yeah, we met Johnny down in Texas. Crazy.
Yeah.
He was MTV material, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What's your favorite board game?
Oh man, that's tough. I love board games, card games.
Yeah. Does your wife get mad at you when you guys play?
No, she definitely is competitive. She likes to win. She keeps track. I mean, it's not a fighting thing, but she keeps track of when she wins for sure. We keep score. I'd have to say Dominoes, Mexican Train.
Oh, that's a good one. We've been playing that with the kids lately. That's a good one.
We play with her family and my family. It's a big thing. Her grandparents love to play, so yeah.
Absolutely. So you just recently got a boat. Did you name it?
No, we didn't name it. And, I've heard it was bad luck not to name it. We thought about a couple of names where, Ash and my middle initial is A. So we thought about calling it a bunch of A-holes, like Hull, like the bottom of a boat. Yeah. We've thought of a few things, but we haven't named it now.
Bunch of A-holes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. How about the fat kid in you? Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, man. I guess a couple years ago, Jimmy Fallon came out with that.
The Tonight Show.
Yeah, it's got like chocolate covered potato chips in it. His ice cream.
Okay.
It's a Ben & Jerry's flavor. Late night snack, I think it's called. It's pretty good.
Late night snack. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite hobby outside? I think I know this. What's your favorite hobby outside of like playing ball?
Fishing.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say like grilling or smoking.
Oh yeah, that too. Okay. Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Okay, what's the best kind of rub to use right now on some brisket?
Oh, I make my own.
He's like, don't buy it. I make my own.
Yeah. I was buying them for a while, but they're so expensive, right? I can buy salt and pepper and paprika and garlic powder by the gallon at the store for less than what they charge for the.
Maybe you need to make your own rub and then call it a bunch of A-holes. And then
yeah. Well, and I grew up working at a barbecue restaurant too, so I remember a lot of the stuff. We used to make our rubs in that barbecue restaurant, so I base a lot of.
You don't
know that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm never going to ask that question again because that made me feel so. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite food?
Movie.
Oh, movie. The Princess Bride.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
What
about your favorite season? You lived in Illinois for a little bit.
Oh man, I miss seasons. Florida, we have summer and summer. There's two seasons down here. It's hotter and hotter.
It's humid summer.
I loved autumn in Illinois. It was perfect pushing weather. It's in the 30s or in the 50s and 60s. I can get out in the midday in the sun and push, and it's not happening down here.
Yeah, no, not at all. What last question here. You got a cheat day. And I know some people are like, you can't do cheat days, you can't do cheat meals. Well, guess what I do? So like what's that go to? Like when you're like, man, I need some food.
Chicago deep dish or chicken wings.
Oh man, yeah.
One of the two. It's definitely going to be Chicago deep dish or some really spicy chicken wings with some blue cheese.
Okay. All right. I like it. Well, dude, thank you so much for being on. Thanks for being vulnerable. Thanks for the honest feedback with the culture of USQRA. I love it. And yeah, just appreciate you. Wish you all the luck with. We got a couple shout outs with WAR this year.
Oh yeah, we do have our Alive Day challenge this month. If you go sign up, we're encouraging people to get out and get active. So check out WAR, and PVA of course is always looking for in-kind donations to help veterans get active.
Absolutely. Check out Chris over on Instagram at rugby_cupcake. At rugby_cupcake. Those you guys always have the best nicknames. Yeah. Real quick, hey, again, please check out giving-games.com. There's sweepstakes and giveaways there. All capitals, giving games to 243-725. Help USAWR out as we get to Tokyo 2021. The schedule just came out for this next go around, so we're really excited about that. But Chris, thank you so much for being on. You guys all have a great day. See you back Friday at 11.